Okay, right. So, hello, folks, and welcome to Fey Earth, an indie TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real, have always been real, and live alongside humanity. It is year 1872. We are in France, but it is a France that is recovering from a war it recently had with the Fey nation of Arcadia. Our band of heroes have been traveling around mostly in the central kind of Auvergne region for a big while, but they'd recently moved north after a spell cast by the party witch Gwyn had confirmed the location of one of the other party members, Mina's brother, who had been lost in the war and was assumed dead. They found him in a hospital, terribly traumatized, missing an arm which he lost in a giant attack during one of the battles, and suffering what we today would call severe post traumatic stress disorder. But back then, they didn't even have a word for it because the term shell shock did not come into existence for like another 50 years. All right. Um, so without further ado, I will invite one of our players to give us a recap of our last session.
Yeah, okay. So we started off the session looking for Jewel Amand, who was the friend of the guy who was murdered, Jacques Dutois. And we headed to the factory that he worked in. He wasn't there, but we got his home address, which led us to kind of a tenement like building where the door to his flat was just freely open and the place had been turned over, but there wasn't really a sign of a struggle. So it was very suspicious. But we found some of his personal belongings, including a hip flask, an engraved silver hip flask. And Gwyn was able to use her locate person spell using her pendulum, which determined that he was in the nearby hospital that Mina's brother is currently recovering in. So the party went there to investigate. We met a very suspicious doctor, Dr. Vernier, and his artificer assistant, Sebastian Moncler, who took a shine to Justine. And we went back. Oh, two of the party did a bit of an explore down in the basement. It seemed a bit murder dungeony. So we decided we would go back at the first available opportunity and try and sneak in. It seemed like the doctor, maybe his artificer friend, were doing some strange experiments to do with automatons. So the plan was to sneak in again whenever possible, but we turned up at the hospital and there was a door saying closed to, or a sign on the door saying it's currently closed to visitors. So we're hoping to sneak in and see what we can find out about this mysterious doctor, the dead guy and his friend, and how it all comes together.
Okay, so you are currently standing in front of the hospital. Okay, and it's just the four of you: Gwyn, Sylvia, Mina, and Justine. Okay, Amanada is not currently with you because she had been in Paris. Okay, unbeknown to you, she had returned and arrived at the hotel where you're all staying at, getting there literally like 5 minutes after you'd all left. Okay, so that's where she currently is. We'll get onto her soon. All right, but the door is locked. Like it's not just closed. Like when you go to open the door, it is locked with the sign out in front saying "Hospital closed to visitors due to pox." What are you doing? Now, I will say there is no convenient windows around. Okay, there are some windows, but the windows, most of them have bars over them because this is a military hospital that was previously a military structure. It was, I believe, like a castle or something, or like a later period kind of military command fortress. So it doesn't, it's not built like even a 19th century hospital, which by modern standards is still kind of grim, but you know, it's not even built like a 19th century hospital. It's just
Um, would the bars be wide enough for Anki to get through?
maybe, but there is still glass panes as well.
Yeah, no, that's just the first question I
Yeah.
had.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, like, Anklegon is, as we said, about the size of a medium to large cat with wings.
I'd say um I'll command him to kind of tell him to fly around and see maybe if there are any windows upper, or if there is like some sort of, I don't know, window in the roof, something like that. What's the weather
Find the
like?
way in. Yeah.
The weather is like it's overcast. Like it's March. It's early March, so it's overcast. It's not. It's kind of mild. It's probably about maybe 13, 14 degrees Celsius. So it's not especially cold. Mid-spring in France. So like typical Northern European mid-spring kind of weather.
Yeah, let him fly around and see what the story is.
Okay, right. Okay, well, can you? I can't remember. Did I give you a stat block for?
Susie, you're muted.
Susie, you've been muted the whole time.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering because I've been kind of constantly talking.
Well, you were mute.
Okay.
Now, just Justine, did I give you a stat block for Anklegon? I can't remember.
You did. I just need to find it. Just give me a sec.
He is a young fairy dragon.
While this was all I was trying to say was Sylvia was going to turn to the rest of the group and just say, like, we don't actually think that there is a pox going on at all.
Oh no, too much of a coincidence. What are we looking for? Dexterity?
No, this is awareness. He's trying to find something. So
Awareness.
He has an awareness of 3, and he has keen eyes +1, so that's a +4 modifier.
Nice. Should I roll awareness for him? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
I rolled 12.
12
So
total.
what's his?
No.
What is awareness?
It is a +4.
Awareness 3.
Wait,
keen eyes
Justine
+1.
has my
So-
amulet of fortune. Remember from last session, so you can
Yep.
re-roll a check twice a day.
Yes, you can.
Nice.
Now, by
Oh,
the
thank
way,
you.
that's twice a day per amulet, not per user of the amulet.
Okay. Well, 16 in total. That might be okay.
He's looking around. He's having a bit of trouble finding any open. Where amulet of fortune, isn't it?
Yep.
Pray to all the dragon gods that Anki can do this.
Mina, do you think they maybe realized that we found their passageway?
Maybe.
So
How would they,
either
though?
that, or is there some? I don't know.
Oh, there it
They
is.
might
It
have
was
some
very
sort of
good.
Maybe,
magic
or it just
weapon.
maybe.
So, do you want to? And actually, you're 6th level now, so you have a choice. You can add half of Gwyn's resolve. Gwyn, you have a resolve of 3, don't you? So you've got a choice. You can do both of these things. You can use one of the 2 rerolls per day now if you want, and you can also add a +1 to the roll, and you can do that +1. Add half of a resolve to any ability test a number of times per day equal to the witch's magic score, and Gwyn has a magic of 4. So you can add a +1 to the roll, or you could re-roll first and then add a +1 to that roll. Okay. Now, if you re-roll, you take the higher value.
Well, if you take the higher value anyway, then, reroll.
No, it's just I'm not sure
Can't
if
be worse.
it's worth wasting the.
You don't know what the target number is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Okay, what do we think, guys? Should I reroll?
Yeah, go on.
To get us started, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, I roll 16 this time. +4, that's
An unnatural
20.
20. Okay.
20.
And then if you want to include the +1, that brings it up to 21.
Yeah.
21.
Okay, so Anklegon does not find an open window, but what he does actually find is a loose section of tiles in the roof, and he's pretty sure that he can crawl into the attic space through that little loose shingle in the roof.
Yeah, I'll let him do that. and I'll also kind of like try my best to explain him where to go, and what to spy on. That there is like a secret passage past the kitchen. Trying to kind of secondhand describe it the best I could, from hearing the description from the guys. So I let him do that.
As long as Anklegon is within 100 meters of you, you can perceive through his senses.
Yeah. Is he still within 100 meters?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, he was at the top of a building, so he was at most maybe 30, 40 meters from you. You know, like, 100 meters is a long distance.
Yeah, no, but like, I don't know where the crack is, not height-wise, but sort of like...
Depth-wise into the building.
Depth-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, if we assume if we assume that the crack, that the loose shingle was, say, 2-3 meters in from where, let's say 3 meters in from where you're standing, and if we assume that the building has a height of 40 meters, using simple Pythagoras, the hypotenuse of that is
Yeah.
square root of 100 and what's that? So like 13.
Oh my God!
It's some form of Elvish. I can't read it, and I don't understand it.
Basic
It's some
Pythagorean
sort
geometry
of
here,
dark speech.
I am actually sweating.
Yeah, it's some sort of dark speech, guys. I don't understand
who might be watching this. We're expecting you to totally ace all of fucking Trigg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like, you're talking about a hypotenuse of about 40-something meters. He's well within the 100 meters, okay? I don't care what the fuck they say in the dragon game. In this game, we respect Euclidean geometry.
No.
Yes.
No.
Magic is perfectly fine and reasonable, but we will still respect Euclidean geometry. So.
Okay.
If you say so.
Anyway,
let's get back to my baby, my son, my only child. I'll tell him to try to squeeze into that loose tile crack, whatever that is. So yeah.
He climbs in, and it's a large, quite empty attic space. It looks like it runs the length of maybe not the entire hospital, but a large section of the hospital. You see there's a couple of boxes in here. Like, it's a big enough, like, space, large enough that a person could comfortably walk upright in it, and it was used for storage. There are some wooden crates and boxes here, but when he, like, lands on one, he can already feel the wood giving under his claws. So, like, these have probably been left up here for decades and forgotten, It's not, it's not an actively used space, if that makes sense. Now, the cellar area that Mina and Sylvia were in yesterday, that was an actively used storage space.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, because there was like food and all sorts of stuff.
That was quite close to the kitchen.
Cool.
Let me roll awareness just in case, just in case,
yeah, sure.
And see maybe he'll spot something. If it's a good roll, we'll check it. If it's a bad roll, who cares?
Yeah.
Not 20. Would you believe it or not?
Okay. Well then, what I will say with that nat 20.
Yay!
Oh my God, you said not 20.
I've heard not 20, will you believe it?
Sorry,
now
guys.
that's 20.
With the nat 20, I'll say that he finds an area of rotted floorboard that creates a whole opening leading down into a corridor so he can easily exit out. But there's absolutely nothing at all of interest in this attic whatsoever. Okay,
Perfect.
This is an attic that's probably not being used actively by the hospital in decades. Okay,
Gotcha. Yeah.
so
Alrighty.
he alights down into the corridor. Now I will just give me 1 second. Yeah, so also within the 100 meters, the fairy dragon can communicate. You and Anklegon can communicate telepathically. You can give him simple commands, and obviously he can't speak, but he can communicate by sharing images and emotion. Because he's an animal, he can't speak. Even though he's a magical fairy, dragon. He's still an animal. Okay. So, I just want to fix the captions. It's cutting a little bit. Sorry, just folks. I just want to. I didn't realize the captions was cutting slightly. There we go. Full captions now. All right. So, yeah, he's moving along. Down the corridor. He's at the very top floor. Okay. So, and this is a 4-story structure. Although, I don't know, Justine, you never went up to Mina's brother's room, didn't you know?
Mm-mm.
No, your first time in the hospital was actually, I believe, yesterday, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and the rest of the party never went past the first floor. That's where Mina's brother was. Okay, but he's on the he's on the top floor, the 4th floor in. Okay. So, yeah, he's like flying along the corridor, sees a turn to the left, continues on, and he sees a set of stairs going down. As he's going down the stairs, he hears the sounds of footsteps. Somebody is walking.
Oh shit.
Not necessarily in his direction, but they're walking along the corridor of the 3rd floor that he's coming down to.
Okay. How bright is the whole like staircase? Are there any windows?
There's a couple of windows and some windowsills and that as well. It's quite bright, it's whitewash paint, plain whitewash painted walls. So it is early, even though it's an overcast day with all that white reflecting the early morning light. It is quite bright, yes. But don't forget, as a fairy dragon, he can camouflage himself. The fairy dragons have a camouflage ability like that of an octopus as opposed to chameleon, meaning that they can not just change the color of their scales, but also change the texture of their scales.
Yeah, no, I remember that, but still, it's better to be safe than sorry, you know? Okay, let's try the darkest corner possible.
Okay.
And hide in there, preferably somewhere like along, the ceiling.
It's a hell of a dust bunny right there.
So I assume he's going to camouflage himself as well, yes?
Oh yeah,
So
of course.
camouflaging himself and staying completely still, that's a +10 bonus to his stealth. So this is roll dex, and then so it's young fairy dragon has a dex of 4, so that's going to be a +14 to the roll.
Okay. I rolled 13.
+4, 27. Okay, so yeah, he's fine. He's frozen, kind of hidden in a corner, and you see and you can see through his eyes, a young woman in a nurse's uniform walking past. It's not the blonde nurse that you've seen before. This is a brunette, similar age, walking past. She's just carrying some bundles of what look to be bandages or something, and she doesn't even notice them as she's gone about her business, okay?
Okay, perfect. So as soon as she walks past Anki, I'll tell Anki to kind of try and go down.
Yeah, cool. So he continues on, finds the next stairs, coming down now to the 2nd floor. It seems to be fairly quiet. Gets down to the 1st floor corridor now. The 2nd floor, I will say, had as you were passing by, if you looked in, there was 1 or 2 rooms, and one of them it opened up. It looked like it was some sort of a surgery room. Okay, so white tile floors, and then trolley-like bed made of wood and metal, and then there was a counter, and there was some surgical implements left out, all clean, nothing macabre, like no blood splatters or anything. It was just like a surgical room ready for use, because this is a hospital. Okay, that was what was on the 2nd floor. On this 1st floor, there's doors that, if he glances through the windows of them, look to be like rooms that patients would be in, like single rooms with simple cot beds, bed stand, or sorry, chamber pots, small bed stands, and the likes. Okay, as he's flying along by. Okay, now as he's flying along, all of these rooms appear to be empty.
So, like empty. No one.
Mm-mm.
Oof. What floor was Mina's brother on?
This floor.
Not good.
But you haven't
But
been there, so you wouldn't
yeah,
know the
yeah,
way.
Houston would know that.
No, but all Justine knows is, yeah, you're flying around, and so far he hasn't seen any patients
Yeah,
in what's supposed to be a hospital.
yeah. So I'm going to say that to the rest of the group.
Mina, you're mute.
And
It's
probably for the
okay, I'm
best.
just saying I'm gonna murderize you if anything happens to my brother, but like, sorry, Susie.
Is there other patients in the hospital than you guys are? Well, is that correct?
There were, yes. You did see one or two, and when you would have passed rooms that had patients in them getting.
I mean, not that we were looking, but we did.
But you did see a few, and in rooms like.
True, we did see some.
Yeah, but okay, if we are to believe that there is some sort of a path, which there is not clearly,
they could be quarantined.
Could they be isolated? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
This is strange, though. Justine, I think that Anki should keep looking. Don't you think?
Of course, yes, I think so.
I'm fucking. Oh, I can't. Sorry. Go on.
So.
Now,
Are you instructing Anklegon to start searching around the hospital for other patients, or to continue flying down towards the cellar area that you wanted him to go to?
I would say we'll find the balance. I'll tell him to fly around that particular floor, because he didn't hear anything on the on other floors as well, right?
No.
Let him fly around that floor and just see if he notices anything or if he spots anything. Should I roll awareness?
Yeah, give me a refresh awareness roll.
Two.
I mean, if you want, you could use the second mote of luck from or you could save it.
I'd say we'll save it, because I don't think we're going to find anything anyways.
Okay.
Heads start literally rolling. We might need it for this.
So, do you give Anklegon instructions, because you would have been told what way the other two went to find the cellar, okay?
Yeah.
So you give if you want to give him instructions to go that way.
Yeah, I'll probably consult with people who actually been there to make the instructions more clear and more
so
understandable.
Presumably Sylvia and Mina give.
Yeah.
Give
it was very simple instructions. Go this way, go left, go down the stairs into the kitchen.
Yeah.
It was quite simple, okay? So he does fly down a stairwell towards a doorway. The doorway is unfortunately closed, but you can hear the sounds of movement on the other side of the door, and you can smell the smells of a kitchen on the other side of the door.
Is kitchen working at the moment, or is it's like you mentioned smell of the kitchen on the other side of the door, but that could mean a couple of things, because I assume that Anki, as an animal, he has a bit more stronger senses in general. So I assume to him there is a general kitchen smell, or is a kitchen that is actively cooking something?
Well, it's fresh smells. So you don't know if it's necessarily actively cooking, but that it was probably being used relatively recently. And
that doesn't really give us anything.
You did well. I mean, they could have been using it to cook breakfast for the patients this morning, but you do hear the sounds of movement on the other side of the door.
Well, and Calgon doesn't have tiny little arms or hands, so
He does, but they're very tiny.
but they're very tiny. They're more like T-Rex type hands, I imagine. Yeah. So let him like perch above the door and listen and wait.
So yeah, he's waiting for about 10-15 minutes until the door eventually swings open, and walking through the door, you can see through his eyes a somewhat plump-looking middle-aged woman wearing what looks like a cook's uniform. Okay. Now the door swings open. If he wants, he could slip in.
Yeah, I'll slip in.
So he slips into a kitchen that is empty. The stove, the agate type stove cooker that was there, it's not hot anymore, but it clearly was hot. It looks like they had probably been, from the looks and smells, it looks like an hour or two ago they were probably cooking up porridge for the patient's breakfast for that morning. Okay. And on the opposite side of the kitchen is a doorway that you know from Mina and Sylvia's instructions is the doorway that leads down to the stairwell that led into the cellar. Okay? So, if you want, we can say that he can alight on the ground and try and push the door with his little arms to try and get it open.
Why not?
So
We believe in you, Anki.
that's a fortitude roll.
Oh no.
-2.
Oh,
-2.
Baby.
He's a tiny little baby.
Come on, Anki, we believe in you.
I rolled 14, so that's 12.
That was the target number. This was an average roll, okay? So, squeezing with all of his strength, he
We feed him well.
Open.
We feed him well, okay?
Oh, bless the baby.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
We make sure he gets lots of fish, and
I mean,
you
to
know.
put it into context, Anglican has the strength of maybe a 4 or 5 year old child. You know, so
That's
That's
strong.
still pretty strong.
strong enough that they could probably push open a door that's not too heavy. You know.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how strong our kid is.
Our daughter is not a typical 4-year-old. Our daughter is feral, so not a good example.
Her strength is terrifying.
Our daughter is the child who can effortlessly climb onto the kitchen counter doing a chin-up.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I thought she'd been using the drawer handles,
no,
but she
was
hasn't
just
been.
chin up, pull herself up, and then up onto the counter. A countertop that's like as tall as her.
Yeah,
That is
it's
terrifying.
Yeah,
She's a beast.
She's a beast of a child.
You just
This
see her do it. It's
blonde
incredible.
cherub curls, but then doing that shit. It's hilarious.
Well, that's all you, Neil.
Yeah, well, her
It's
mother
after her mammy, I think.
So, Anglican.
No, we blame it on Neil.
Okay, Anglican pushes open the door, and there's a stairwell that leads down into a cellar area, and it's the cellar area that was described before. You don't see anything there right now. It's completely black. Okay, there's like sconces in the wall where you could put like torches if you wanted, and hooks on the sconces that you could hang like more modern oil lamps if you wished. You know, it's kind of weird. Like, it's hard to date this structure, but like coming down into the cellar area, you're thinking it's probably at least 150 years older than I thought it was, you know?
But they probably, they've like added stuff over
Built
time.
up
And
over it.
yeah. Cool.
So, actually, give me a fresh awareness roll. And you can add keen smell.
That's 18 in total.
Okay, don't hear anything. And all he smells is the musty, dusty smell of the cellar. Okay?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Aminata, you got to the hotel where you know your friends are staying, okay? and you, as I say, you got there, and you go in, and the hotelier, Madame Lavette, she sees you, and she does recognize you, because like as far as you had been there before, so, and she's like, "Oh, Mademoiselle, you just missed your friends, okay? They literally left 5 minutes ago."
Oh, did you happen to see what directions they were going in?
I believe that they said they were going to l'hôpital to visit the Swiss lady's brother.
Oh, bien, bien. Oh, I'll catch up with them. Does Aminata have any luggage at the moment?
Yeah, you have a small bit. You always kind of travel light and compact, but you have a bit. But like she sees that and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, we can take it up to the rooms."
Oh, merci. A biento. And Aminata is going to whisk their way outside. Since Aminata is not as short as I am, I think they'll make decent time in catching up.
Yeah. Like it's about a 15-20 minute walk from the hotel to the hospital. Like you normally just jump in a cab, but it is actually in like a 15-20 minute walk.
I'll probably hop in the cab just so I get there a bit sooner.
Yeah, so that's like 2 copper, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, you get to the front of the hospital. You pull up and you can see the 4 of them. They're basically just standing around in front of the front doors of the hospital.
Aminata is going to like sneak up.
Give me a stealth
Like-
roll.
Okie dokie. Oh my god, it's
Is she wearing the ring?
I wouldn't do that. I would listen. After wearing that ring the last time, I'm going to be using it very sparingly. I
Did
still
it
don't
feel
know
a bit
what
like icky?
I still don't
Bit
know
of
what
your
could happen
soul
to me.
was.
Exactly that.
I don't think the Eye of Sauron is anything to worry about here. I'm just saying.
Oh god. So that is. I'd probably use my cat's grace. Well, no,
Oh,
would
yeah.
I?
Yeah, we'll say yeah.
No, I'll use my stealth. I'll use my
Oh,
stealth.
sorry. Yeah, of course you do your stealth.
So that is a 19.
Yeah, they do not. You are like the wind.
You could wreak so much havoc right now.
I know.
So literally, they're standing around. You walk right up, standing beside them. None of them have spotted you. They're all kind of focused on Justine, and looking at Justine, you can see she's got this weird silvery, glassy-eyed look that you've seen before, when she's looking through
Anki's
senses.
Okay.
So you immediately recognize that's happening, and the other 3 are focused on Justine. So
Okay.
none of them have spotted you.
I think seeing Justine like that, like Aminata is very good at reading the room, so to speak. So they're going to decide against scaring them in case they're doing some shady shit, which I'm well accustomed to. So yeah, I'm just going to stand there quietly and hope that I don't scare them once everybody kind of comes to and then they realize that I've joined.
Can Gwyn, Sylvia, and Mina roll awareness checks, please? Justine, you don't because you are focusing through
I can
Ankh-Lagan.
certainly
So
try.
you are not.
Pretty sure
you're
that
not aware
was-
of your surroundings.
Justine is not in the building at the moment.
No.
I rolled an 11 plus 1, 12.
I actually rolled a 1, so that.
Yeah, I rolled a 2, so I'm too worried about my brother.
Aminata,
I see a building.
None of them have spotted you.
Oh,
Like to the
that's
point where you're standing there for like a good minute or more, and none of them have spotted you.
I am so terrified that any sound I make, even if it's a gentle kind of, will scare people. So I'm just going to stay
Fair.
dead silent and just like in my head, I'm just going to be like, what is happening right now? I have no idea. Going through all these crazy scenarios. Actually,
Oh, yeah, that was- Wait.
hold on a second.
Oh, that was a 7, not a 1. Well, hey, that was an 8.
Would I have seen the sign on the hospital saying
Oh
the?
yeah, you see it like right there in front of you. You're like
Right,
standing.
it's right at the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like standing 2 meters from the door. And
Do I
the
probably locked?
hotelier had mentioned nothing about a pox.
Which probably would that would have been mentioned
Oh.
if I would have expected some sort of a. I was about to say some broadcast, some announcement
Yeah,
to
so
have been made even in the papers
this is
or
obviously very recent.
rightio. So Amanada is going to renege on everything they said. They're going to pop up. They're going to pop on the ring and go try some doors.
Okay, so they don't actually see you. We can just say that you don't need to retcon anything. They don't see you, and then
We
you
never
spot,
yeah.
and then you spot the sign, and you're like, oh shit, okay, and you pot on the ring.
Yep, I'm just going to go snoop.
Okay.
Snooping. Oh my god, look at me. Just being like, oh, there is no pox here. Oh.
So yeah, you're walking around, and like you eventually get around to like towards the like back side of the hospital, and you do see what looks to be a small door. It's obviously some sort of a servant's door to get in, you know.
Mhm.
And you go check it. Yes, Justine?
A completely unrelated question. I'm so sorry. Just curious. So Amanada has like Fey blood. She's
Yes.
she's Fey touched.
Mhm.
Would you still like is smallpox still something she can potentially
Oh
get
god,
or
yeah. Like the Fey touched are just a very inhuman species. They're spicy humans, is what they are, basically. Okay, they are still very much human, but spicy. All right.
Spicy human.
Any pathogen that a mundane Homo sapien sapien could get, then Fey touch could get as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
No more questions.
I've got healing potions.
The spice does not protect you,
But
basically.
healing potion
They're for weak wounds.
will not protect you from a disease.
That's magic.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, we got Sylvia.
There are separate magics that cure diseases, distinct from. So a healing tincture, basically cures you of like restores your injuries from wounds and like the expenditure of your life essence, because as you know in Fey Earth it's a grit point mechanic, not a hit point mechanic, so it's not like just a numerical representation of your health, but your toughness,
Yeah.
But they won't, if you get a disease, then you are, basically you're going old school, Vicks Vapor Rub and Flat 7 Up.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yep, so I'm going to try the door.
Yeah, so the door is locked.
Right. So I'm going to try any accessible windows.
Well, you do have thieves' tools. You could just try and pick the lock.
Do you know what? I don't think I've even used them.
You've never had to use them, but you do have thieves' tools. You've
True.
never had to pick a lock.
Oh my
You've been
god,
fighting
yes.
ogres in like huts and shit and dire wolves. You've never had to pick a lock.
Fantastic. I am going to do some lock picking.
So I don't have lock picking as a separate
Skill itself.
skill, but I do put it in with the like detect, disarm, traps kind of thing. So it's going to be stealth +2 because it's an equivalent kind of skill,
fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yee.
Because you are disarming something.
Ooh, that was a 19, and
So that's is that like 23 total? Your dex is 2 + 2 4,
Yeah.
so 23. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, click, 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 and the door opens effortlessly.
Do we just see it opening magically?
No, this is around the back
It's
of
on the other
building.
side.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, it's really bad.
She
Yeah.
popped on her ring and then just wandered around.
Fucking chaos goblin.
Yeah. So
I'm going to assume that since we're here, we're going to go. Mina wanted to go see her brother,
Yeah.
and the last time we were there, I did see the room he was in.
Yeah, you did.
So I am going to sneaky upstairs.
So the door opens and it leads you into kind of like a small kind of like, I guess, not a hall, like a sort of a hallway space, but it's an open hallway space, and then the corridor leads into past kind of like effectively like a broom closet. Like there's, it looks like off to the side there's like a closet space with like mops and buckets and cleaning stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
so going past that again, you come into a very large room. It looks like a dining hall. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't think fancy. Think military barrack style dining hall. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's about maybe 5 meters wide by about 15 meters long. Okay. And
Yeah.
there's like four sets of long tables, two to the left, two to the right, and each set of tables has long benches on them. Looks like they'd comfortably seat like 20 per table, you know, like
Mhm.
10 aside. And there's a big set of doors at the opposite end of the hall space, all right?
Mhm.
So then going through those doors, you find yourself coming after a minute into the main kind of foyer area.
Okie doke.
When you do spot the nurse that you've seen before, the pretty blonde one. She's
Yeah.
like sitting at a desk that she often sits at near the front door, and she's like writing in a ledger. So at this stage, I will need a stealth roll from you.
Da-da-da-da-da.
But she's invisible right now. So
Oh
like,
yeah, so the invisibility. I'm just putting
Okay,
it
that gives me a +10 bonus to my
plus 10 bonus to stealth.
Yeah.
On top of
Nice.
your
There's cat grace as well.
plus 6 that you currently have because of
Yep.
your stealth and your cats and your dex.
Okay, so that will be a 32.
we'll just call you Rogie McRogues a lot.
Yeah. So you are effortlessly moving. You're not making a sound. There is a stairway off to the right that you know leads up to the first floor where you know Mina's brother is.
Okay, that is exactly where I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Now I don't know if you actually ever went up to the room, but you do
I
know
did.
of.
I
You?
did go up to the room to look at him to write the letter back home.
Oh yeah, okay, right, cool. So then you do know. I couldn't remember. So yeah, you go up that way and you get up to the corridor that he's on, and you go up to his room, and his room is empty. He's not there.
Hmm. And would it? Okay, since I have done, you know, sneaky trying to get stuff, would I be able to tell when the last time somebody might have been in there was? So does the room smell musty?
Give me an awareness roll.
Stale? Okay. So that roll was not great. So that was a 6. However,
6 total, or 6 as your dice roll.
6 was my dice roll. Awareness.
8.
Oh. Can I use my keen eyes?
If you want. You've no idea. Okay, the room smelled like a hospital room. There's no sign of a struggle. Just the patient that was in this room is just not.
It had been used, yes, like the day before, so like it wouldn't be musty because
Okay, cool.
The bed is made.
Bed is made, right. Can I hear any other movements up and about?
No, not really. It's very quiet in this building. It doesn't seem like there's many people here. And the nurse at the foyer is the first person that you saw.
That's suspicious.
I mean, when you've been here in the past, you could tell like this is not a hospital that's got a lot of staff.
True, but considering there was just a war, I'd at least expect some patients.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You looking around, there's no patients on this floor.
I'm going to.
You don't know how many patients were in this hospital either.
Yeah.
So you'd only seen a handful, and the few that you had seen all seem to be similar to Mina's brother. They like severe PTSD.
Yeah. I think I'd still find that suspicious. Listen, Aminata finds everything suspicious.
Course, absolutely.
So I will actually just start kind of going room to room, and I won't be dawdling long. Like
Yeah.
I'll literally just be sneak, sneak, sneak,
Ah.
peek, scan, go next
So
room.
after about like 10 minutes, you do come across on the second floor, but on the you're walking around a bit like on the opposite side of the building.
Yeah.
A larger room. It looks more like a standard hospital ward. So
Mm-hmm.
looking in, you can see there's 6 beds, 3 on each side,
Mm-hmm.
and at the front of the door, on the door itself, there's a sign which reads quarantine. And looking in through the window, like the glass pane of the door, you can
Yeah.
see that there are 3 men, patients,
Mm-hmm.
lying in beds in this room. None of them looks like Mina's brother. One of them is a patient that you're pretty sure you recognize, you saw before, like just
Mm-hmm.
passing, but none of them look like Mina's brother.
Right. And can I see any other like hospital staff in there?
Oh, sorry, there is a nurse in the room. She's a brunette. You don't recognize her. You can't see her face because she's wearing a linen face mask.
Okay, so she generally seems like she's trying to protect herself from something.
Yes. Now, by the way, none of the patients look sick. None of them are showing signs of pox.
And would the pox be something we'd be used to seeing?
This is Europe.
Okay, yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, like it's the 19th century, so it's not as common now as it was before. Like
Mm-hmm.
the more fashionable one, the more fashionable disease in this period would be consumption, of course.
Yeah.
But pox is still pox.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's like so 1700s.
So not on trend. Okay, so nobody looks sick, but
Well,
the
they
nurse.
don't. They don't look more sick or sick with what is being claimed to be in the hospital. But
Yeah,
but these 3 patients have been moved into are
a
in a room,
quarantine
and
room.
one of them is a patient who you're pretty sure had been previously in a room on the same floor as Mina's brother, and they've been moved into this other ward that is apparently under quarantine.
Mm. I'm not gonna like the fact that I can't see Mina's brother because I definitely recognize him.
Mm.
And how many more floors are left in this hospital?
There's 2 up,
Okay,
and
I'm
you
good.
don't know if there is a basement or not because you've never explored the place.
Listen, if there's anything that Aminata
But
is thorough.
I will say this: an old structure like this, you would assume, has some sort of a basement.
Yeah, like they usually is like even just for storage.
Yeah, sometimes these basements, even like as old structures were being built and the cities expanded, sometimes you end up with crazy situations where like sewers were nearly like running into basements and stuff. So like
Um, okay, yeah. So I'm going to, since I'm already kind of upstairs, I'm just going to keep going up,
mhm.
doing the same thing.
While
Scan.
you're there, fucking ransack the house.
Actually, if I do find any officials, like any like doctor offices, anything like that, I will be sneaky and try some doors, to see if I can, I don't know, read some open letters.
So you do, after about another 15 minutes, find what you're pretty sure is Dr. Fernier's office. The door is locked.
I got tools.
Fuck, you're locked.
Yep. I'm going to try get in that lock. Oh, but you see the problem with no, no. Would I be able to lock the door again after me?
Maybe.
Good question.
Well, I'm gonna
Maybe
open
he's just
it.
really minded and like, oh, I thought I locked the door and I didn't. Huh? How about that?
Hopefully, and hopefully it's not locked using magic. So that is a 10 with my plus 10 to dexterity.
So you've got
Wait,
it's the plus 10 only applies to stealth. Okay.
stealth. Okay, cool.
So you roll the 10,
Hmm.
and it's a plus 4, so that's 14. this is a standard office lock. This was a target number of 12. You know,
Oh,
this
okay.
is not a high quality, you know, protecting the valuables kind of lock. This was a very basic standard lock. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So you get in, opening the door into the office. It's a fairly standard office. It's a wooden desk. Obviously, there is some wooden filing cabinets around the around the walls. It's nothing in any way interesting or unique or unusual.
I still want to detect for any traps or hidden secrets. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He might have some
yeah,
sort of
sure.
magical CCTV camera that I don't know.
So that's awareness, and you can add your keen eyes, and you can add your +2 to detect traps. So that's a +5 to the roll.
Okay, so that is a 24.
You do not detect any traps. You do spot that the top drawer on the right of his desk is also locked.
Unlocking top drawer.
Unlocking top drawer, pulling it open. There is a single journal-like ledger in this drawer.
Okay. And I just want to like have an ear out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
obviously I would have like closed the door behind me.
Yeah, of course.
I want to have an ear out for any traffic, but I'm going to take the ledger and just kind of duck down behind the desk.
Yeah.
And have a read.
You open the ledger and it's in some bizarre cipher that you do not know.
Fuck damn it.
Right. Do I have any sort of writing equipment by any chance on me?
You'd have a. I think we said before that you had like a pen and some paper. I think, or a pencil
God
and some
damn
paper.
it, Aminata, just take a
You're
picture with
you're
your
in the
iPhone.
office.
I was actually just like, oh, it'd be so handy to have photographic memory right now. Actually, yeah. Do you know what? I'm in an office. I'm going to grab some pen and paper and quickly try and copy as much as
some of the characters. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're at this for about 5 minutes, and you've got like the first page copied, because like this is slow going, because it's in some bizarre cipher of characters that you don't recognize at all. All right. So you're having to be very careful in copying the shapes. When you hear the sound of footsteps coming up the corridor in your direction.
I'm going to put the journal back.
Okay.
I'm going to try and close it really softly.
Close or lock?
I'm going to try and lock it. I'm going to try and at least the
so
top door.
That's a fresh, basically lock picking roll. If you want to try and use your thieves tools to click the tumblers to relock it.
Oh my god!
Well.
Okay.
You're still invisible, so there's that.
Yeah.
True.
So that is because what is that? Is that is that still dexterity?
It's still dex plus, and then an additional +2 for your rogue skills.
19.
Yeah, click, and you don't do this normally, but you're like, in theory I should be able to. I'm just turning the tumblers in the opposite direction. You're pretty sure you've locked the drawer of the desk, and just as you're stepping back from it, into the office walks Dr. Ferdy Hay.
I am going to become a scuttle bug. As I'm going to try and get. I know he probably should. He should not be able to see me. I hope he can't. But I'm going to try and keep out of sight.
Is there any indication that he can see?
Into the corner, is that what you mean?
No, as in I'll be going down on the other side of the desk, and as he's coming around, I'll be going to the other side.
So coming around.
Yeah.
Okay, so as the doctor comes into the office, confused, looking at the door, and then looking at his key, that he obviously had to open the door, pocketing it, heading towards his desk as you, invisible with your enchanted ring, trying to come around the other side and not be seen. This is a perfect place to pause in our story.
Oh, don't do that to
Oh,
me. My heart's
No.
in my.
Bloody hell! I need to get a drink.
What's your heart rate on 10 now?
Oh God, it is. My heart
I'm
is
at,
not having a great time right now.
I'm at like 91. So.
Well, folks, we are going to take a quick 5 minute break.
106.
Oh, God. That's not good. That's not good at all.
Hey, mine went up to like 130 during the fucking. Or it was like 113 during the fucking fight with Melisande.
Right. Well, folks, on that note, we are taking a quick 5 minute break. We promise to be back very, very soon. So don't go too far, and we shall see what happens next.
So cute.
Okay, so folks, we are back. Now, just before we restart, I do want to talk about 2 Kickstarters that I have backed that I am feeling very passionate about. The first one, going into the chat right now, Abaddon the 13 Seals. This is a really, really awesome, small little indie TTRPG. A good friend of mine, Andy from Lost Haven Arts, has created. Now, it's doing well. I think it's got like 9 or 10 days left, and they're only about, I think, 600 or 700 euros shy of hitting their funding goal. So it should do well, but obviously it could do with your support. This is a game that is all about devils and fate and dark magics, and uses a really fun playing cards mechanic. Okay, so if you have a bit of extra cash and are looking to support something, then please do. The second one, Faithful, a Scottish fairy tale short film. This is an indie film that they're trying to make, which I immediately fell in love with. The premise is a young girl who's had a bit of a troubled upbringing, who becomes best friends with Kusith, a fairy hound from Scottish folklore, and how could I not back this project? It does need more help now. I really am hoping that this can get its funding, because if it does get this initial Kickstarter funding, I think they're getting extra funding from Scottish Film and a whole bunch of other groups, but they need that initial funding to get the ball rolling. So if you could, even if you can't support it yourself, tell your friends about it. Let's share it with everybody. I'm sharing it on socials all the time, so please do. Okay, so with that being said, let us return to our game. When last we left our heroes, the party were trying to find out what was happening in the hospital. The strange and somewhat suspicious sign saying closed because of a pox outbreak, none of them believed. Justine had sent her fairy dragon Anklegon up. He found a little crack in some shingles in the roof and gotten down and into the hospital, bypassing some staff, eventually getting down to the cellar where Mina and Sylvia had been the previous day, and where they had seen evidence of what they thought was strange, like footfalls in the dust into random walls, suggesting that there must be some sort of a hidden doorway or passage here, but they couldn't find it. Aminata, having just arrived in Cambrai and missed her friends by like literally 5 minutes when she got to the hotel, had travelled to the hospital, got to her friends. None of them spotted that she was standing there because they were focused on Justine, who was seeing, sight beyond sight through Anklegon. And then she spotted the sign about the pox, so put on her magic ring of invisibility, found a servant's door, broke in using her thieves' tools, was exploring around a bit, came upon the room where Mina's brother was, and her brother is not there. But she did, on another floor, find a small ward room of 6 beds in which there were 3 patients. One she recognised as being a patient on the same floor as Mina's brother, and a sign outside saying quarantine, with a nurse inside wearing a linen face mask. Possibly evidence that this pox is true, who knows. She had then found the office of Dr. Fernier, the head doctor who runs this hospital, breaking in, and had broken open the lock to one of his drawers and found a ledger inside. But when she opened it, she discovered that the writing was not normal French, but written in some strange cipher. Having just copied the first page, she had heard footsteps, quickly put the ledger back, using her lockpicks, relocked that drawer, and Dr. Fernie had come in. And as he is coming in and around to sit behind the chair of his desk, she is circling around him, and we find ourselves there now. Aminata, invisible, standing in front of Dr. Fernier's desk, looking at him as he settles down. Pulls open a drawer to the left, pulls out a ledger, and starts looking through what look to be some patient files, writing in it for a minute. He does not appear to be aware of your presence currently. What are you doing?
I was like, what the fuck have
You
I
got
done?
this. You got this. He doesn't see you. That's a good
Okay,
start.
he doesn't
The
see me.
office door is closed. He closed it behind him.
Damn it. Right. I thought he would. Like, it makes sense that he
Yes.
would have. Oh. Shit. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Okay. Hold on a second. I might cast Minor Illusion.
Like, woo, I'm a friendly ghost, or not friendly ghost.
So you could cast Minor Illusion. With a Minor Illusion cantrip, you can create the sight of an object, a medium or small creature, a smell, a sound, or any other simple image. So it's generally only one sense that you're conjuring with the illusion. So if you
Ooh.
created a image of something, there's no sound, there's no smell. If you create a smell, there's no sight to go with it, you know, likewise with it. So it's a singular sense that you conjure with, because it's a cantrip, you know. If you want more complex illusions, then that is spells from the Sphere of Twilight that must cause suspension of mana.
Oh no, I'm literally going bare bones. I want to essentially create a distraction for myself so I can like skedaddle.
And sorry to interrupt, you do know that if you attack or cast a spell while wearing your ring, the invisibility does not break.
Oh, it doesn't break.
No, it does not break.
Okay.
This is a ridiculously powerful magic. This is not some bullshit, you know, wish.com crap.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legendary magic item that I gave you.
Oh no! I know.
Tom, I love it.
I know that because I did cast Arcane Shard against those shadow dealies when we were in that mound. Okay, so
It was just to remind you, so don't be worried about that.
So retracing my steps to the office, which way is the stairs?
Like, it's about 2 minutes from his office.
Okay, but from like around his immediate vicinity in the office, is there anywhere I'd be able to hide?
Well, I mean, he can't see you right now.
True. Well, I'm trying to sneak out of his office, so I'm trying to make a distraction outside of his office so he opens the door and I can slip by. It's just, how the fuck am I gonna do that?
With Minor Illusion, say if you conjured like a rat to run and push open the door, can it interact
or someone,
with a physical?
someone screaming behind the door.
That's the thing. A rat can't, like, an illusion can't physically interact.
Gotcha.
You could create a sound, like the sound of
That's
some scream or a
that was the
noise
plan.
or some bang or something outside the door.
That was the plan, to create a really loud kind of like crash bang sort of sound. Maybe not on the floor, but
you
downstairs.
Emma in chat has a great suggestion, by the way.
Let me see that.
So you could up to, like, in theory, up to 10 meters away, you could have the source of the sound.
Oh, it's only up to 10 meters away.
It's a cantrip.
What's Emma saying?
Wait, does 10 meters away count straight down to the floor?
See if Tendai does it.
He wouldn't be able to hear it then because the sound was not going to travel up.
I'm not logged
Really?
into. I'm not logged into.
It's a minor cantrip.
Okay. Yeah, I'm literally just gonna like rip him and oh my god, yeah, a really foul fucking smell. No,
You could create a foul smell to try and drive him out of the office.
No, but then he'll be like, why did that happen? No, it's too I think it would be a bit obvious. I think a really loud sound. So trying to think back as to what was in the hallway, would there be something that I could hide myself behind? I just don't know if there was.
Not really, but like I'm not trying to be difficult here, but you don't need to hide behind anything because you're invisible.
No, but somebody else who comes to investigate might have true sight. That's the problem.
Yeah, tough.
Oh shit. Are the windows easy to open?
Yeah, relatively.
What floor am I on?
You're on the second floor, so you're like over.
If I jump, I should be okay, right?
No, you're like over 10 meters up. You would die.
Would I?
Yeah, 10 meters.
You'd be very badly hurt.
At the minimum, you would be extremely badly hurt and possibly paralyzed.
You'd definitely break both your legs.
Yeah, and
possibly
maybe several vertebrae and spinal cord. 10 meters.
Oh, okay. Listen, you're talking to somebody who used to jump off pool houses into swimming pools and shit like that.
Swimming pools.
And also used to jump off garages onto the floor. So
yes, but a garage is usually no more than about 2 to 3 meters.
it was a fairly big one. Okay, anyway, besides the point, and out trees. But
That sounds like a story, by the way.
it was a daredevil. I'm surprised I didn't break most bones in my body. Okay, so minor illusion. I'm going to.
Anyway, chat suggests an unholy fart.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I don't think the fart
I mean,
will work.
You,
sound.
you could try to create a foul smell in the office to try and get him to leave.
I think he'd know if that didn't come out of his own bum, to be honest.
Who knows?
And he'll probably I think he'll probably investigate the source of
sound.
the smell in the office. So
First.
what we need him to do is just to open the door, literally.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, noise down the hallway, opposite end that I'm going to go. So,
so is the noise you're creating kind of a clashing sound, or the noise of a nurse crying out, or what?
yeah, it's going to sound like somebody in god awful pain.
Okay.
It's going to be even more obvious when they're like,
give me a
no,
magic
nothing
roll
happened.
just to see how good this is. Okay.
Oh shit!
You have a magic of 2. You're not complete. You're.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, like all none of your stats are higher than a 2, so magic is one of your highest stats currently.
Shit!
Ooh.
Sorry, that fell off my desk.
Yeah, you do have a lot of 2s. It's a very well balanced character sheet.
Oh, dirty 20.
Okay.
Oh god, I'm actually sweating.
So, you create this illusory noise of somebody crying out in pain, and the doctor jumps up out of his chair, races around and out the door in that direction, leaving the office door open behind him as he bolts out.
I am
Ooh.
booking. When I say I'm
Get out of
booking it,
there.
I am booking
Okay.
it.
Right.
You didn't take the ledger, did you?
No, she had put it
No,
back
no,
in the drawer
no,
and had
no.
locked
Okay.
the drawer.
Oh
No,
yeah, yeah.
security would
okay.
get significantly tighter if I did.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. Probably not worth it.
So, what way are you going? Are you going
She
up to
could
the
be
top
parts of
floor?
it.
Are you going to try and explore, looking for a basement section? What are you doing?
I'm going to. You see, I'm worried now because he may be a bit. If he's anything like me, he's going to be like, not suspicious. I think I'll try and avoid going up to minimize myself getting essentially cornered
Yeah,
upstairs, and I'm going to start heading down.
Okay.
Sure.
So you go back down to the first floor. Do you want to explore that floor some more, or do you want to just go down to the ground floor?
I want to explore a bit more.
Cool. So you explored a bit more, and then after a few minutes, you do find a door that leads to a stairs going down.
When I was going around the building, did I see any sort of like like those old school cellar doors coming out?
Not any of the floors that you were on.
No, I mean like when I was outside casing
Oh,
entrances. Would I have seen anything to indicate that I can get out from the basement?
I'm trying to. No, you didn't.
Right. So if I go down here, the only thing I know is that this is possibly the only way out.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to risk my luck anymore.
So just to clarify, this is a stair. You're on the first floor, so this stairs is going down to the ground floor.
Oh, it's going down to the ground floor.
Yeah, because you're on the first floor still.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'll go down to the ground floor.
So you go down and you open the door and you're into a kitchen, and there's 2 doors, one to the right and one at the opposite end. There's currently nobody in the kitchen.
So I want to go to the one that closest first.
That's the one to the right.
Okay. Oh god. I don't know why I'm getting
open that one
heebie-jeebies.
to the right, and it leads to a corridor. Looking down, you're pretty sure that corridor leads back in the direction of the large dining hall space that you had passed through.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to go other way.
Other one is a stairs going down.
Oh shit.
Well, this is good. You can open the door.
Anki must be around. Is Anki on the first floor or the ground floor?
Anki is in the cellar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
That's.
See, I reckon Aminata's going to be able to open that cellar door, the door that we couldn't open.
Well, what if it's magic and it's not locked?
I would say, like, well, she still has magic, but, like, do you know what I mean? I'd say she'd probably be more able than us two idiots,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, I'll keep going down because this is
You
just
go
like
down and
mystery.
after a minute or so, you find yourself
nerves.
coming into a pitch black cellar. Now, as you are fate touched, you have dark sight, so you can see perfectly in the dark.
What am I seeing?
Sorry, while this is happening, are we outside the hospital?
And Justine is
kind of going, don't be
discussing.
suspicious, don't be suspicious,
Yeah,
don't be
basically.
suspicious, don't be. That's what we're doing, yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and Justine is still sight beyond sight, looking through Anklegon's eyes. Okay.
Neil, nobody's got it. No, none of the listeners are going to know.
None of her, anybody who's Gen Z or a younger millennial does not get that reference at all. At all. Okay? Doesn't mean I'm not going to make it every time. So.
What am I seeing?
So you're seeing it's a cellar. It looks to be a storage area. There's boxes here. Not a lot, but there's a couple of wooden crates. Examining some of them, you can see they have like medical supplies and stuff like that. And some of the boxes have like food supplies, like potatoes, tubers, carrots, that kind of thing. You know, it's yeah.
Okay, I will want to detect for any traps or secrets, please.
Okay, right. So, so that is a detect hidden secrets roll, which is awareness +2, and you can use your keen eyes. That's a +5 to this roll.
That is very improbable. I rolled another 8. So that was what, 23?
Okay, excellent. With that roll, you definitely see on the ground, on the dusty floor, okay, you spot a set of footprints. Like there's a mishmash of footprints, people going to and fro, but then you spot a set of footprints that clearly appear to be walking directly towards a random wall in the middle of the western side of the cellar. Like it's quite obvious. You're like, why is somebody walking up to this wall?
Okay, I'm going to go over to the wall, and I'm going to try and again see.
Give me
if there's any
a fresh roll, a fresh detect hidden secrets and traps roll.
Ooh, shit. Oh, no, it's not so great. That was with an 11, so what, 16?
You currently are having difficulty. Yassine, can you give me a awareness roll for Anklegon, please?
I can. That's 9 total. No,
Okay.
10 total.
Never mind.
What did you roll? What did you roll?
I rolled 6.
Oh.
Yeah, well, unfortunately with that roll, yeah, and Aminata, with your roll, you're not. And it's frustrating. You're like, no, there's definitely something here. I just can't find it. You know.
Can I try and feel around for any, maybe some seams?
You could, if you want, use the grit expenditure mechanic.
And take exhaustion damage.
To try to make up the difference.
I do it all the time.
I can't risk getting too tired when I need to.
If there's a fight, it's risky.
Yes, it is. With
Have
great
a
risk comes great reward.
True.
God.
I can heal some exhaustion.
What if my brother is down there?
Just don't go in on your own, for the love of God.
Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, what would I do? I would 100% get my ass in there. But also, it is very risky to do something like this alone.
Mm.
But at least I know that it's there. No, I wouldn't know if how much the party knows as well.
No, you don't.
Shit. What does
You're
it?
the only one who can decide this.
What would exhaustion do to me right now?
Well, it just lowers your max grit.
It just lowers my max grit. Okay. By how much?
So for every 2 grit that you spend, you get a +1 to the roll.
Oh. Okay.
I do it literally all of the time.
So the thing
Okay,
about this mechanic is it's a small enough cost to make it really tempting.
But I will be able to recover this, right?
If you rest, yes.
Yeah.
After a long
Okay,
rest. But he's
Okay.
also building an army of automatons, probably. So be careful.
Well, I would know that, so I would probably be like,
Oh, yeah.
I am
Good
going
point.
to use.
Oh my god.
So if I expend grit, can I roll again?
No, it's added to the dice total
Oh shit! What did I
to
just
make
roll?
up the difference. You rolled a 16.
I
So you rolled a
You rolled
16.
16, so how much would you need?
The target number is 21.
Oh shit, okay, that's 10.
That's a lot, bro. That's a fucking lot.
That's a lot of exhaustion damage.
16, that would be, yeah.
5, 10.
Yeah.
So
10 grit's a lot.
it's a lot. And don't forget, if your max grit drops below a quarter of your total, your defense lowers by 1 as well.
Your defense and your dex and fortitude drop by 1 each.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't get
Yeah,
anything. I can't afford
it's a
any of that.
lot. It's a lot. No, I was thinking if you'd failed by 1 or 2 and spend about 4 grit, then grand. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I was actually going to spend maybe 4, but
Yeah.
Even 6 would still be fine, you know.
No.
Yeah, but not 10, yeah.
10's a lot.
Yeah, that is
Bearing in mind we don't know what the fuck is on the other side.
true. They could 100% be God knows what waiting for me to open whatever that is.
We need to go in at night, lads.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, I'm going
together.
to stomach the little voice in my head being like, "We must know what the secret is," and I'm going to leave it and try and head out.
Okay. Give me 1 stealth roll here. Okay.
Oh God.
With your plus 10, you're fine.
Yeah. True. Oh, that's a 25.
You effortlessly slip your way back out the rear door that you'd come in through before. Justine, you're here for 30-40 minutes. You don't see anything at all. Nobody's come down into this cellar space. You're not spotting anything.
Can we leave? Because we can't hang out there for all day. That's going to be too freaking
Weird.
suspicious.
It would be very weird, yes.
But I trust Anklagon enough to observe and watch and just sit there.
Yeah.
How long can he I assume there is some food in the kitchen that he can steal if he gets hungry and stuff.
Yeah,
and be
you could just give him a command and say, observe, and then whatever command you
Feed yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll tell him to be as sneaky as possible. Don't let anyone see him, and just look at everything. And I'll tell about this wall thing in that cellar. So I'll just try to transfer this thought that if anyone comes into that cellar, please, 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 please watch what they're doing.
Yeah.
In every detail.
Is he to follow them or just observe?
That's a good question. If he can follow them sneakily, yes.
Okay.
If he feels it's dangerous, then no.
Well, remember, he is an animal.
Yeah, but he has instincts.
Yes,
So,
but animals' instincts are for self-preservation, not risk. I'm not trying to be pedantic or difficult here, but you know, he's not a Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd, is what I'm trying to say.
Who solves all of their problems with a 360 roundhouse kick to the face.
Yeah.
yeah, self-preservation is fine.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
fine with that. So
Okay.
I'd rather have Ankle gone alive than get like more information or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah, of course. So, all right. So that's what you're doing.
Listen, if he sees how they open the door, that's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Aminata, you eventually come back out, and I assume you go back around to the front where your friends were when you left them.
Mhm.
They have not moved at all. They moved like a meter or two to the side so that they didn't look suspicious standing in front of the hospital, but they basically still in the same
Can we
spot.
at least say we moved around to like the side of the building or something?
Sylvia's getting anxious. She is starting to pace.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okie
So
dokie.
you're still invisible as you walk up to the Aminata.
I honestly don't know how I'm going to be like, isn't he with that
Well,
fucking life
Can
out?
we say that it's a perfect timing, and at this point Justine decides that okay, that may be enough.
Break,
Like
yeah.
we'll leave him be.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And
So
once
Justine breaks her connection with Anglagon, and you see her eyes change back to normal.
and at that point I'm going to slip off the ring.
So as Justine comes to, suddenly Aminata, as if appearing conjured out of the very air itself, appears right in front of you all.
Where are you specifically?
hell,
Like,
where
who
did
are
you
you
come
beside?
from?
Who are you beside? Like,
Who do
I'd
you?
probably
Right in front of us, I presume.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'd probably
Mina's
be like
jumping, swearing, like, go for Tony. Like, where are you coming
Sylvia
from?
does throw out an arcane shard. Just
Yeah,
because
Gwen
it's
just
not
like
right.
fire appears in her.
I
It's been so
Justine's
tense.
just like, like she's been asleep for like past 24 hours,
Yeah.
being hangover as hell, because she comes from like a dark dragon dungeon
to
to
something
bright light, and she's
super
like,
bright.
what?
Yeah,
What?
true.
I'm going to say we need to go.
Yeah, I think that we
We
have
do
been
need
here
to
for
go.
long enough. Maybe we should get some coffee and talk about everything. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna see this like twinkle in Aminata's eyes.
Did you find a way to
do?
fight or to help Mina's brother?
Oh, that is still in the works. I have found something else. But I think it is best we
Yeah, let's walk
go have a
and
coffee
walk
and-
and talk. Yeah. Okay.
yes. Aminata is going to like promptly start walking away, like, but also casually, not making it look obvious, like
Nonchalant.
anything like.
I'm so
Oh well, listen,
nonchalant.
Aminata would be queen of nonchalant right now. They're very used to doing even shadier shit than this.
Ooh.
So yeah, they're just going to be.
We can say that you walk off and find a nice quiet cafe to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to get my brother out of there and into some other place if they're experimenting on people.
Okay, when we sit down, I'm going to order so much food. So much food, little sandwiches, cakes, the whole shebang.
It's mostly it's a cafe, so they have
Okay.
some small sandwiches, but it's mostly a
Croissants.
You get
patisserie.
croissant and a
Patisserie.
cigarette.
So they
What's
have
small?
pain au chocolat, they have eclair de croissant, that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah, no, perfect. I'll order enough for the table to just kind of like nibble and help ourselves.
Me just immediately stuff in her face.
Yeah, so like they
Wait.
come back in a few minutes and they've got a small little tray, and on it you see there's some macarons, some profiterole, there's some pain au chocolat, there's some mifle, there's some eclair, there's like madeleine, there's like about 6 or 7 different little cakes and nibbles and stuff. This is
I
probably
love
gonna
the
come
food
to
in France.
about This is gonna come to
Damn it,
like
Neil.
about 6 or 7 silver because this is like really good shit. But Amanat had said like, give me all of your good sugary goodness. So they have delivered in the way the French are very good at.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Okay.
Well, tell us everything, Aminata. Where have you been? What have you been up to?
Unfortunately, I cannot tell you all of those details. However, I can tell you the details of where I was for the last, I suppose, 40 minutes or so.
just if I could ask, you're not doing anything illegal, are you? I'm just concerned in case, people come looking for you because you have done something and we then bear the consequences of whatever is going on. That is the only reason I ask. I am not saying divulge all of your secrets because all of us have our own things that we keep close, but it's nothing that will affect the rest of us.
Well, no, it should not. I'm very careful with the works that I do. I very rarely leave any trails. And
which means you won't get caught. Fine. So where were you the last 40
Only
minutes?
trails of dead bodies.
there will come a time where I'll be able to tell you more. I'm really sorry that I cannot. It's just there are a lot of people depending on me, and just like if you all told me to keep things secret, I would take those secrets with me to the grave.
I mean, Nata, I just ask because I don't want us to be in danger also. That is the only reason. If we are not, then we have bigger things to worry about right this second.
No, at the moment, you're all safe. You're all safe. You're all fine. If I ever catch wind of anything like that, I will tell you straight away. I'd never jeopardize your well-being or your health in that manner.
Yeah, I know that you are thinking of the work that you are doing. I am just used to bearing the consequences as a group, It's just a
Yes. Have you been in the hospital?
I was in the hospital.
Did you see my brother?
Unfortunately, no.
He wasn't in his room, was he?
It seemed as if they had gathered some of the patients all in one ward.
Right.
The nurse who was in that room seemed to be wearing a mask, so perhaps there is some sort of illness. However, I will say none of these patients looked like they had smallpox. They looked
That's you as always.
They looked moderately okay. Nothing to indicate there was the smallpox. There wasn't any sort of. I didn't hear any sort of sounds to indicate.
But Mina's brother was not there, no?
Mina, Rosamond, I did not see your brother, and so I did do some additional investigations, and I did essentially go through the entire hospital, trying to find information, and I did happen to find there was some very dubious notebook. I could not necessarily decipher what language it was written in, but it did look like some sort of a cipher, and I do have copies of it. I'd be hesitant to show anyone here, maybe when we're in a safer space. But
back in the hotel, in the rooms, I think.
But yes, but I also know that there is a secret doorway or some sort of
cellar.
Yeah, Mina and I found that yesterday, but we could not open it. Could you open it?
Open it, very up.
I could not open it. At that point, I was getting a bit nervous. I'd been in there for quite some time. I almost got caught by the doctor. And
Okay.
Oh.
yes, I figured it was probably best to maybe make a plan to do a little breaking and entering in the dead of night.
Yeah, when it is
Okay.
dark, I think this is a good idea.
Christine is just going to say, okay, and just tell Minata everything that basically happened during the previous session, and mention that Ankhlagon was there the whole time and he's still there, kind of watching, spying, and basically looking how to open that door. And he'll come back and report.
So on that, Justine, you realise that when you were looking through Anklagon's eyes, you never spotted Aminata when she was in the basement.
But I do know about the ring, right?
Oh,
We all
you do.
know.
You all know about the ring, so it's just like crap. She was in there, and I was in there, and I didn't see her because she was invisible.
Yeah. I think Justine would be more like, oh, that's actually a really freaking cool artifact.
Yeah.
Even if like Ankhlagon couldn't spot it. So yeah, and she's also going to tell about that conversation that she had with your man Sebastian and the Dr. Fournier. And that evidently they're doing some shady stuff.
When you were talking to the doctor, did he give off any strange energy?
Well, I
Weird
was there when
vibes.
Justine was talking to him, and I have to say his companion, Sebastian, was unusual. More unusual than the doctor.
Unusual in what way?
He wasn't. He was just an artificer.
He had a really almost obsessive interest in his project, which maybe is not strange. I don't know many of
That
these
is
people,
not unusual for a sorcerer.
but it just something about it. I don't know. Being in a hospital working on
His
Well,
work
we know.
involved the prosthesis for patients who have lost limbs, but we know from your conversation with Madame Gauthier that he had previously been trying to create arcane soldiers, but it had been a failure.
and he swindled money. He just seemed a bit.
Oh no, the worry is
shady.
that he is continuing the work trying to create these arcane soldiers, experimenting on the patients. You know, for
And just
the
the
army.
hospital being closed the next day, and it seems desolated. And
you can see Sylvia is getting quite agitated, like uncharacteristically agitated.
Like you'll see Aminata's face is going to be like that Matt's meme of the woman just kind of being like putting two and two together, because this is what they do. So they're going to say, well, first of all, I always trust your instincts. So Gwen, if you got some odd feeling of this person, I would very much, I definitely pay heed to that. And the fact that he had been working on prosthesis, and the fact that all of the patients have been either rounded up. I did not see Justine's brother and
Mina.
Oh, sorry, Mina's brother, and it seems odd that even if they were carrying out some sort of a treatment, there wouldn't have been any sort of communications to you, since you did identify him, and you should have been notified of any sort of things happening.
All of it.
Surely.
All of it is so shady. The fact that it's allegedly closed due to a pox,
that would have been announced. It would have been posted up. It would have been in the newspapers, and
we would have also been rounded up because we had been in the hospital.
The hospital, and it's all very, very dubious. And I definitely think we need to move quickly, and we should go tonight.
Yeah, I am afraid of what might happen if we delay.
However,
I won't let anything happen to my brother.
We wouldn't let anything happen to your brother either.
If something happens to him, there will be murder. I just
Mina, let's hope they're not stupid enough to actually do something with your brother.
because
Yeah, because they know I'm here now.
yes,
Not
they
only you, all of us. So
oh, absolutely. They don't want to deal with any of us, especially Mina. After you've searched so hard and so long for your brother, we will need to be. We will have to also be very, very careful because I know that the doctor was suspicious. Well, he seemed to be very wary of the fact that the daughter's office was not locked. That was my own mistake. I should have locked it behind me. I was just I was just worried about getting enough information,
Yeah.
but their their security might be a bit tighter tonight. So I would recommend we maybe try and get some, I don't know, some supplies.
What kind of supplies?
Oh
Could
well.
are you
The
are you suggesting that we get in between now and then?
Oh, I think we definitely need the fun kind of supplies. So we would want something that would help with stealth for all of us. Mina, I am not very sure about how helpful it will be, considering we don't know how much space we'll have to maneuver.
Yeah, but we have if you are planning on going tonight, what do you think we can get in
Oh,
between now and
we,
then?
we will definitely need more form-fitting clothing for one.
But getting the clothing made, that will take several days.
Yes, this is 1872. You can't just pop into Pennies and get some t-shirts and leggings. All right, so
Just getting a more to imagine.
you're
No, I'm
not
not thinking
going
that.
to be able to.
It's gonna take several days, like.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get any of this kind of stuff that you're planning.
No, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking like getting like proper heist like body suits or anything like that. No. I'm literally thinking like, okay, wearing trousers, darker colors, things that
there's
we.
it's still.
You could certainly buy some trousers to replace your skirts and culottes with.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be easy to do.
I have trousers.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I wasn't thinking like full on like full heist getup.
Yeah,
Not at
no.
all. This isn't Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
You know.
like most of you are going around dressed in skirts and culottes, so
Yeah. So
you could easily switch and buy some trousers. Not a problem.
yeah, trousers that can be tucked into trousers to
Gwen
socks.
has a set of boys' clothes, so
Yeah,
There we go.
so just some more appropriate clothing, something that may disguise our faces. Maybe if we can try and get some, Gwen, amulets for luck, amulets that
Not
will
going to
help
happen.
knock. Oh yeah, you would need more than.
yeah, I need materials, very specific
Okay,
materials.
maybe we can go and find somebody who sells potions, or I don't know. We need to look.
So
We need to look,
suspicious.
and
Unfortunately, Madame Gautier is so far away in Paris.
She's in Paris. We're not going to be able to.
But-
no, we will not have the time.
In the brief travels you made around this city, it's a small city. You saw no evidence of any sort of artifices or anything like that here.
Yeah,
And
it's a
I think
small
also
town.
in
You
the
won't have
city
something
of-
like that in a small town.
Sorry, Justine. Yes.
Even if there was like in a city like that, that's a recipe for disaster. Imagine, I'm sure people are talking already, and then someone will tell someone that there were like 4, 5.
We don't want a
suspicious-
witch hunt. We certainly don't.
No,
But we
True.
can look at what we
Been there,
already
done that.
have and try and.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But it's
Let's
like
go to the room,
at,
get
yeah.
out our stuff, and see what we have and what maybe we can buy some cloth to cover our faces or whatever. But that's about it.
And likewise, you could certainly pick up trousers for Sylvia and Justine.
Yeah,
We could
Exactly.
definitely go to a haberdashery and.
You could just go
Yeah.
into a clothing store and
Clothes
buy
shop.
trousers. That wouldn't be a problem.
Oh, I
Um,
haven't worn trousers in a
Right,
while.
right,
That's
right,
going to bring
right.
back fun memories.
Well,
Maybe-
Gwen always wears cycling culottes. She's in trousers all the time.
true. And also maybe some, like, I don't know, how soft are everybody's shoes?
Oh, Sylvia has her still wears her
Boots.
army issue boots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boots.
boots.
She
Yeah.
still wears her army boots because they're good shoes. Like,
Well,
Very good shoes.
but shoes should be easy enough, maybe.
We are just a little bit before shoes start getting mass manufactured.
Okay, right.
It's 1872, so we're at the early stages when the Industrial Revolution is just
Well,
beginning to kick off. So clothing is beginning to be mass manufactured. You get me? So getting things like trousers and that will be easier. But mass manufactured, machine made shoes is it's it's beginning to appear. It's more common in the United States. It's not as common in Europe yet. Most people are still getting their shoes from
I
Costco.
just think, like, if you plan on going tonight, we're
Now,
gonna need like
this
several
is
days to
this
get
is
the stuff that you're
France,
talking about.
so
Mhm.
you could easily find somewhere selling ballerina slippers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
This is France.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah. No, we'll go and get some ballet slippers. They'll be nice and soft.
Yeah.
And I was literally also thinking we could also probably get some fabric, tie it around, lace it up.
Scarf.
You know,
Scarf.
exactly stuff
Yeah,
like
not
that.
a problem.
And also for the face. Yeah, cool. So yes. So we'll need
So
some.
that's what we do. We go
Mhm.
to the haberdashery, buy some stuff for our faces, get some trousers for whoever
So,
hasn't got some.
do you head back to the hotel first and kind of have a check of your gear?
Yeah.
I'm gonna head back because I'm probably gonna go in my cat form, so I should be okay
Yeah.
for all that stuff.
Absolutely.
But I will head back and just do an inventory check
Yeah.
on the
And
gear.
Yeah, same.
when you get back, Aminata, do you give the cipher letter to Justine?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
So,
as soon as we close the doors behind us, that's going straight into
So
Justine's face.
Justine, you could spend some time trying to decode it.
Yeah.
This is going to take you some time, so we could say that you're doing
I
this
mean-
while the rest of the
Yeah.
party is out buying the trousers and the other stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'd still need to wait for Anki to get back anyways,
Absolutely.
just to know what we're dealing with, what
Sylvia
kind of
wears
door
a
it is.
Victorian walking skirt, so
It's still a
Like-
skirt. I mean, it's your decision. You
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
yeah.
But-
Okay, no, I'll get trousers. Fine, cool.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, someone can borrow my set of boys' clothes if they want.
I don't know
Well,
if they'll fit
every-
Sylvia.
Anyone about what height am I? 5'7"?
I would be around 5. Aminata would have their own stuff anyway.
Okay.
Probably.
Sylvia might be curvier than Gwen, I think.
I think we'd established that Justine and Gwyn are more similar in build.
Yeah.
I could
Who you think
probably
could try them on?
borrow.
Well,
Let's say like we got back to the hotel and Eastin tried Gwen's clothes and they fit, so she was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here and like
perfect. Yeah.
do decoding
Work
stuff.
out the cipher. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, Gwen, I'm going to stay around as well and hang out and
So you guys are heading off. What are we getting? Sylvie, you're getting a pair of trousers.
Yeah,
you're gonna
sure.
Pick up some handkerchiefs to like cover your faces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Uh,
get some less stompy shoes, I guess.
Pick up some.
I
ballet
need to get
slippers.
some sort of.
Yeah.
No, I'll
I'll
tie a scarf
go
around
get
my head
slippers.
for my hair. Be fine and get some ballet slippers. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll say that the pair of trousers and 3-4 pairs of ballet slippers. Because Aminati, you have like lighter shoes. That's gonna come to. Oh, we'll say like 5 silver. Okay, so somebody deduct that from the character sheet. Okay. So Justine, can you please give me an intellect roll? But you can also have your +1 for reading here. Okay, to see how good you are at cracking this cipher.
I'm so afraid of what this says.
My evil plan. I am going to
That would
kill
be-
all of these patients in terrible, terrible ways.
It would be
Yay.
great, though, if it did simply say it like that. I'm just saying.
I am evil.
So Justine, what'd you get?
I rolled 19, surprisingly enough.
19
Plus-
total.
Is that like
Oh,
a
was that you
No,
rolled
no.
a 19? So that's a
Rolled a
20.
19.
That's a 24.
That's a 24, yeah.
Okay, right.
She's a smart cookie.
Justine is quite the scholar. Yes, absolutely. Okay, right. That's brilliant. So with that, you using classic cryptography, you knowing which letters are the most commonly used letters in the French language, you work off the presumption that the most commonly appearing cipher character represents E's and then A's, and working out from the vowels, and then based off of that, other commonly appearing words like l, la, de, that gives you some of the consonants.
So
And like this is just simple maths, really. It's simple,
so it's
not math, logic.
so it's really like the simplest of the simples. So it just like replaced one letters with the others.
That's all he did.
Oh,
He replaced letters in the alphabet with his own unique characters. He didn't. It was a very very simple cipher. Okay.
oh, he's not the smartest one, is he?
No, he's really not.
It's really not, because that would probably be the stuff that like Justine would do in college with her friends to,
That's
you know,
like, or even with your brothers, like to
yeah,
pass
or
messages that your parents couldn't read. Like
literally,
really simple stuff, you know. Yeah,
yeah,
you're feeling kind of smug after his horribly
yeah,
misogynistic comment yesterday
yeah,
about the female intellect not being suited to the
yeah.
medical fields. So yes, so it's only a single page, and it's like the first page of the journal. Okay, so it's kind of like his introductory thoughts. Okay, and in which he basically says, um, met with my old friend Sebastian. I had not seen him for several years. He had fallen on hard times after his failed attempts at creating arcane automatons for the Emperor's army. He has approached me with an interesting idea. While still continuing to try to make more strong and hardy arcane automatons, the idea of using those who are weak of the body and mind, implanting them with enhancements so that they may be used as soldiers. We have a number of patients here in the hospital whose minds were broken by the horrors of war, and we feel they would be perfect for this work.
Sorry, could you just repeat that again? For some reason, my audio just cut out. Just the last bit.
That the theory that they would enhance people's bodies to make arcane soldiers, and that they feel that they have certain patients whose minds were broken by the horrors of war, and they would be the perfect candidates for this work.
Oh no.
Fuckers.
Fuck a duck. Yeah.
Okay, we just go in guns blazing.
Well, so this, Justine decodes this. Gwyn, you're there, okay?
And Neil, can I just since it's a simple, basically like simple code, and I assume Justine kind of cracked it fairly quickly. It was like 24 roll.
Like you would have cracked it. Like you immediately figured out what this was. And it was literally just a bit of trial and error. It took you about 15-20 minutes to fully decode the entire text.
Perfect. I have memory +1, so can she learn it by heart? So that next time she sees something like that written in that script, she'll be able to...
You're pretty confident that if you saw this again, you could read it pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Maybe not as easily as you read the Latin alphabet, but you're pretty confident you could read this pretty quickly. You are extremely intelligent, and you're not just smart, but you've trained your mind, you know? You've trained your mind to absorb information, to learn all facts, to be able to read a big tome of text and absorb and remember that, you know? Because you have the research, the reading, and the memory talent. You as a smart cookie, you know? So, yeah, we will say that if you saw that ledger again, you could probably read it pretty easily. So, eventually you guys get back, and Justine relays this horrific information to you all. It's at this stage at about maybe 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, and at about 7 o'clock, you are up in the bedroom, and you hear a tapping on the window.
Pinky!
Baby!
My boy!
You open the window, Anklagon flies in, and he comes up, climbs onto your shoulder, Justine, and kind of nuzzling into you, and then he gives you a flood of images in which you see Sebastian Monclerc walking into the cellar, carrying a fairy globe, an enchanted ball to provide him with a light source. and he goes up.
Did we see how he opened it?
He goes up to the wall,
Yes.
and he he turns a couple of bolts that are in kind of a brazier that's set into the wall to hold some torches. So he actually turns them. He rotates them. Okay, and when after the third one rotates, a bar, a little pin with a hook pops out, and then he goes over to a section of wall. All right, and he pushes the bar into what looks like a solid brick, but it passes through as if the brick's not there. And with a turn, you hear a clicking and grinding noise, and a section of the wall moves slightly, and then with a bit of effort, he has to pull across. And when he does, it reveals a tunnel that's going in the same direction, that westerly direction. But standing right at the front of the tunnel, there are fairy globes set in the walls providing light. But standing at the front of the tunnel, you see a pair of constructs that look similar to the arcane automatons that you saw in Moraine's castle back in the Tronque forest. But they look similar. They're not quite as big. They look slightly smaller, not quite as sturdy as as well made, as well constructed as her ones, because her ones looked almost like armor. These ones look a bit more spindly. And that tunnel continues on for another 10 meters, but Anki didn't follow him.
How's Mina reacting to all this news?
Oh, she's white as a sheet.
Okay.
Mina?
Especially after hearing what Justine said about the... I presume you told us about what the cipher said.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get her a stiff whiskey at the bar.
White as a
One as
sheet.
well.
And she just like... If anything happens to my brother, there would be murder. I'm sorry.
We will ring
okay.
the fire
And we will help you, we're here, and we will help you.
Pets will roll.
Oh, okay. Mina, whatever you need, okay?
Yep.
I'll help you burn that building down with everyone in it except your brother.
Absolutely. You wouldn't
Not
even
with
need to
us inside, of course,
Obviously,
So,
not with us. All the other patients inside, anyone who we find was a part of all of this dubious behavior will be.
but
dealt
I
with.
think we need to move tonight.
Yep. I won't leave him in there another day.
It is exactly. I was hoping that I was being a bit dramatic, but I think my assessment of we need to go tonight is.
Yep.
None of us thought that you were being dramatic with this.
100%.
Well, I have got ballet slippers. I know it will feel a bit odd to some of you. You will feel, unfortunately, most things under your feet. So I would suggest we possibly get a cab, or I don't know.
I think we should get a cab to save time anyway. So yeah.
Don't forget, you're waiting till it's dark, aren't you?
Yeah.
It is March, so it'll be a couple of hours. Like, it's only like about 5. It'll be, over 3 more hours before it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not that far. If we don't forget that. We don't want anyone seeing us. We don't want anyone seeing us dropping us off.
Do we know when like nurses and doctors are finishing up?
You assume that they work. This is France, so you're assuming that they work no later than. Even though it's Victorian France, it's still France. So we're assuming that they finish at sometime between 5 and 6.
Okay. So I suggest we go there after they're done.
Mm-hmm.
We.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can say that you're gonna wait till 7 and then head around.
Yes.
Yep.
And Amina, did you bring them to the back door that you came through before?
Yes, and as we go around, I'm going to also try and detect any spells and traps.
Well, you can't detect spells. You're not a sorcerer.
Oh, sorry, no, not spells. Traps and secrets. Sorry. In case they had buffed their, I suppose, their security since I was last there.
Give me an awareness roll.
Will do. Where's my dice on? Talk about awareness. Oh, there it is. Not the best. And that was a 12. So what? 13 with keen eyes.
Plus with an additional +2 for your rogue skill, so that's a 15.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, you don't spot any traps, but you do spot that back door that you came through. No one seems to have gone through it. It's still unlocked from when you went through it earlier.
Oh.
No, it's
That's handy.
Suspicious.
Unless
need to get in, so
unless
or they're just dumb. Like the whole lot are just stupid.
you still need to go in. So
I will. I'll go first. I'll go first, and I'll also maybe slip on the ring.
Sure.
And act as a scout. So I'll be a bit ahead of people. And who's going to be behind me, actually?
I will
Gwen,
go
do you
with
wanna
you.
do
You
cat
see,
thing?
Gwen is going to transform into her
cat form.
cat form, and it's not like a majestic Sailor Moon transformation. It's kind of gnarly, kind of gross. But yeah, Gwen morphs into this jet black cat, and I'll toddle along beside Aminata.
Metal as fuck.
Sailor Moon.
So,
Fuck's sake.
can everybody please give me I'm sure
42 check not to be grossed out by this horrific sight.
It's pretty gnarly.
I thought I had a stat block for cats. I was sure I did. I can't find it here. I'll have to dig it out
Yeah, I
and
don't
send
have
it to
one,
you.
but yeah, cool.
Can everybody give me stealth rolls? And I'm going to say that Gwyn, you get, we'll say, for tonight, for this roll, a +6.
Okay, that's good because I only rolled a 13. So that
Oh,
is
natural 20.
18.
19.
Sylvia is the knight.
I got a dirty 20.
And Justine? What did you get, Justine?
I might need to use the amulet of luck, okay? 4.
Oh,
Do you want to use the second
Oh,
reroll
no,
today on the
Finn.
Amulet of Luck? Okay.
Day's almost over anyways, like.
Yeah.
What's the worst that could happen?
oh, jeez.
That's 1.
Roll.
Okay, 17.
Okay.
Nice.
Right. So you all start quietly making your way through. Aminata, you are leading,
20.
but you make your way up. You're like actually Aminata, you lead. You would have given them directions. So instead of going up and then down, they take a right from the dining hall, and then a minute later.
Well, Mina and Sylvia know as well.
Yeah, no, you came from a completely different
But
way.
not picking up from that door,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
Aminata would have told you this is how you get there on the ground floor, into the kitchen, down the door, into the cellar. Okay.
we're fine once we're in the kitchen.
And once you get to the wall where you're sure that the secret passage is, Aminata, you based off of, I'm not going to even have you roll, based off of what Anklegon told Justine and she told you all, you start fiddling with one of the brazier hook crook thingies, twiddling and stuff, and you're, oh wait, no, I can unscrew these, and you like unscrew a couple of bolts, and then a piece of metal comes out, and it's basically a key. It's a simple crude hooked key, and coming along, you now find one of the bricks. Your hand goes through it. It was actually an illusion. And putting the key through that brick, you feel for a keyhole and turn, and with a clicking noise, the wall moves slightly. With Mina's help, you pull it along, revealing this tunnel. And about 3
Come on,
meters,
tiny tank.
about 3 meters into the tunnel, okay, there is these two slightly smaller and slightly more spindly looking compared to the ones you saw in the Palace of Moraine Le Fay arcane automatons.
Are they reacting to us?
No, they've not moved.
Okay, well.
Okay, I'll go first as a cat and see if they have any reaction to me.
Okay.
Do they have any reaction?
So you start walking down and you get about...
How big is this space we're in?
So this tunnel is a little over 2. It's like a hemisphere, a semicircular kind of tunnel. It looks almost like a sewer, but not quite. And it's approximately 2 meters tall. And then about 3-ish meters wide. So it's not a perfect hemisphere.
Okay, I'll take Albert out of my bag.
Oh yeah, you can comfortably take Albert out. Okay. So Gwyn, you start moving forward, coming down, and you get about 50 centimeters in when your foot steps onto a slab, which immediately glows with an arcane glyph. There is a flash of light.
But you're only
even as a cat,
and
I'm heavy enough to.
And a alarm cries out as the eyes of the arcane automatons light up, and that is a perfect place to pause the story.
Oh, fuck.
That's why I took Albert out.
Oh no!
Detected for traps.
No, you did not.
Sad times. Even as a cat, I set it off as a little tiny.
Well, you see, this is the thing. This was an arcane glyph, so you don't know. You was like, well, you don't know. It
wasn't like
this,
a weighted thing. Yeah.
Justine would probably guess this wasn't a pressure thing. This was a magic thing. If people move through this space, it's going to trigger.
Heck, she's not people. She's cats.
She's
I
not.
could try.
She's
I could try
people.
and like dispel magic and see if I could like deactivate that.
Well, you guys can all talk about this over the next week in your private player chat as you curse me. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Looking forward to next week and seeing what's going to happen. Hope you're all having a fun week. If you do get a chance, please check out those Kickstarters. And yeah, Emma, I love to leave it on a cliffhanger, as you know. It's my thing. And we shall see you all next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Good night, all.
Bye.
Bury the chopper.